Namaste. So this evening, I want to speak with you about a particular energy and a particular confusion with the same name called the whole. Whole. It's quite a thing, you know, to be a woman on this planet Earth. And as a woman, we connect to a very particular vibration of energies moving through our body and our womb. A very strong sexual vibration, actually. The womb holds a lot of sexual vibration. And the woman, you know, as a woman in her natural state, we love to feel. So much of our teaching on earth for everyone is that some feelings are nice to feel, like if I'm happy, and some feelings are not nice to feel, like if I'm angry or sad. Then we need to fix those feelings, right? Well, in a woman's natural state, she loves to feel everything. Feeling itself is our bliss. And the more wide the spectrum of feeling that we have moving through our bodies, the more our capacity to live and to feel what some may even call bliss. When our spectrum of feeling goes in both directions, we go into deep joy and we also go into like profound grief. When that spectrum gets very, very, very wide, then we're able to access this profound bliss in our being. Yeah? And so because we're such feeling beings, we seek feeling experiences, feeling experiences. Like some people want to go to Bali, the feminine wants to go to feeling. And we try to find ways to find deeper feelings, like having deep, intimate relationships, or pushing ourselves to the edge a bit, or over the edge sometimes even. And of course, we love to swim in the sexual waters. Love it. I find so much pleasure there. One finds so much pleasure in sexuality, in sexual energy, in sexual experience. We find so much pleasure. It's such a natural movement for us to want to move into the sexual waters. But in our planet, when I grew up especially, but even now, there can be such a dark stain on a woman who's truly in her free sexual waters. And you know, whenever I speak like this, I have to remember I'm speaking to people all around the world. And if you're in Saudi Arabia, for you to even be listening to me might be a stretch, I imagine. Forgive me if I'm wrong. And if you are in Norway, you'd be going, huh? Probably, you know, or in like California or in Berlin, you'd be like, what's she talking about? You know, it's like, or if you're in like a family where the mama was maybe like a really free thinking, feeling being, you'd be like, what is she talking about? But if you were brought up in a very devout, religious family, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Or if you're brought up like myself in apartheid South Africa, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. That as I came into my life, into my sexual life, I was cast with stain upon me just for being a sexually alive being. So it really depends the time you're born in, who you're born to, where you're born, how much you relate to this conversation. But most people will relate something to the energy of the whole. And that ultimately, the woman with the highest status on earth in the culture view is the woman with a romantic partner, usually called a husband. She'll have higher status and she'll also have more protection. Yeah? And though I've never been married, I do hope that a husband might treat his woman's intimacies with kindness, though I have found many times it is not the case. And awareness of how the yoni likes to be loved. Yeah? But the whore is greatly confused on earth at the moment. The whore in our culture means the woman who is sexually available, either for free or for a price. But her sexual availability is to anybody really who wishes to partake of her. She is available. This is kind of what I get, what the whore is. When someone is called a whore, it means she's available to whoever feels like partaking of her body. And some woman will have a price for that, a financial price, you could say. And she's called whore. But in the energies, the woman who is simply available to that which wishes to just have a piece of her, without anything of her own center present, with her own, I want to say desire, and that's where I'm leading in this conversation, with her own desire present, her own aware desire, turning into that moment, following the rising energies. If that is not present, if the woman is without a center, as is in the case in the patriarchy current evolution on earth, if she's without her center, without truly knowing her yes and her no, and if she truly wishes to turn into this moment of sex with someone, there is no whore in the energies. For the whore, in the etymology of the word, and you'll find a different etymology if you research this yourself, but the one that makes the most sense in the energy that the whore points to, the whore means the one who desires. Hey, feel that. The one who desires. Desire itself is the whore. The one who desires. And as my journey as woman in patriarchy, as girl in patriarchy, my desire was always last or non-existent. To tell you the truth, I've spent my entire life trying to recover my desire. What is it? What do I truly want in this moment? Again, as I say the word patriarchy, remember I always tell you that I understand why it has arisen in patriarchy, and so I don't say it with a great malice. But as we turn into a new era, it's good to examine things a little more closely. So how do we recover our desire as women and as men who hold a great deal of feminine in their being? How do you recover the desire of the feminine? How do you recover the whore in you? A silence is arising in me. An emptiness arises as I speak this for some reason. I feel like tonight in this conversation, I'm just going to tap here in your being, in your intimacies. Where are you with desire? How much can you allow your desire? At which point do you put it down because it becomes the whore? At which point do you deny the whore in you, that which desires? And I'm going to go deeper in this in another conversation. But I'm going to explain the polarity of the whore is in one direction of the energies, that which desires. But if that which can say no and which can say yes, call it the center, if that doesn't exist in you, neither can the true desire exist. Then your desire is externalized. You seek, what can I desire from those around me? So I'm just going to softly introduce the whore to you this moment. And perhaps when she feels less shy, in me she's a little shy tonight. I don't know why. What is that? So I want to ask you a question a few times over. I'm going to pause and let you feel it. And I really invite you to play this with your partner. I really invite you to play this game with your partner, back and forth, asking, taking turns to ask, before any love making or any sincere movement into energies. Simply to receive this question: what do you desire? What do you desire? What do you desire? You see, the ancient whore, in most ways, in many ways, not in all ways, was dissimilar to the prostitute of today. She never served the coin. Do you hear what I'm saying? She didn't serve money. That was not her master. It wasn't within her realm of her concept of existence. She served life. She served existence. She wished to awaken existence within you. However it felt for her to do that. The idea that a man might go to a temple hall and ask for an ejaculation in exchange for a coin in that time might have been seen as insane, as someone who had lost themselves. It would have been a great confusion to come to the temple of the goddess and ask for such a thing. And I don't say it like this because there's such a judgment in me against it now. I'm just trying to show the difference between what was and what is now. She was the current, she was the gateway to desire itself. There isn't a greater coin than desire in terms of creation. If there is no desire, there is no creation. The energy I speak of, not our mind's confusion that has become so externalized. The desire to bring life into form from spirit. That's what really desire is for. The desire for the material in this realm is seen as a confusion. For the material is abundant and all around you. In the time of the goddess, it is seen that there is nothing but abundance of the material. For someone to stand underneath a grape tree full of grapes dropping upon them and then desire grapes is confusing. It's confusing. For a man to come full of energy, of desire, and give a coin to have it thrown out on the floor would be seen like somebody who is throwing nectar into the vast ocean, rasa, divine energies, to throw it away. Can you see the confusion? So here we come as women and have a great connection to desire. Desire calls forth the sexual energy in us, which opens everything. And most messages we have got, is to not be the whore, only be the wife. So regardless where you stand in this, or how deeply you have lived a sexual life, there might be some confusion at the base of your being regarding desire and whole, worthy of your attention, your presence, and this untanglement. This may be the deepest wound of the feminine on the planet currently. Especially when desire has now been caught in plastic shiny things. Nonetheless, without judgment, and even in the folly of it all, it's better to follow your desire where it is as such, with awareness. You know, if you really are desiring a car, then get 5 or 10 or 20 until it is sated. Until you keep finding the real. What is this energy of desire really about? How has it been caught? How has it been perverted into the confused mind? How have I perverted my desire away from the Dharma, away from the way of true energy, away from the desire that is the force of awakening within my being, the force of creation within my being. Yeah. Let's see where these words land. I don't feel this is such an easy topic, especially because of the range of human beings that are listening. See where it lands for you. Examine where desire is for you. Examine where desire is, how close you are to the truth of desire, by how deeply you embrace the true whole within you. Namaste.